Alright guys, last video of the week, yet even more graphing of rational expressions. We're going to try to spend another day doing what we did yesterday. It needs to start making sense. Hopefully after today you get it down pat, so let's see what happens. There are three main cases that we saw yesterday, mainly the different kinds of horizontal asymptotes you have. And we're going to do one of each, that's going to be the whole video. So short and sweet today on the video. One of each, here we go. The first case is when your denominator has a larger degree than your numerator, where your top degree is less. Let me change colors here from a marker. All right, I always start each time trying to factor numerator and denominator if I can. So that's going to be x plus 1, x minus 1. And even though we're learning more about horizontal asymptotes the last couple of days, I still gonna do my vertical first, and the vertical is whatever makes the bottom 0. So what I know right now is my vertical asymptotes are going to be at -1 and +1 because of that denominator. So I'm going to draw one asymptote through -1 right through there, another one through +1. Oops, kind of missed there. Through +1 right through there. My horizontal asymptote, here's the deal: horizontal because the bottom degree is bigger than the top degree, or the top is less, it's going to be the x-axis, or y equals 0. So that right there is going to be the horizontal. Now, one thing about the horizontal asymptote you may have discovered yesterday, I didn't say a whole lot about it on the video, is that your graph can actually cross your horizontal asymptote in between verticals. Horizontal asymptote really measures what's going on the ends of your graph, not necessarily in between the two middle ones. So it can cross your asymptote in the middle, but not on the ends. Just a heads up there. So I'm going to table, find me some points, and 0, 0 is a point for sure. If I look at -2 is -1.33, so it's going down there, which is really all I need to know. -3 is -0.75, it's about right there. So over here it's doing this. If I look at +2 on my calculator, it says 1.33. 3 says 0.75, so over here it's doing this. All I need to know is what's going on in between the asymptotes. So two choices here to find out what's going on in between. One is you can change your table. Instead of going increasing by 1, you can make it increase by 1/2 and kind of see what's going on. Or you could always hit your graph button and just look and see what's happening. And it's doing this. It's getting closer and closer to the asymptote over there. It crosses the x-axis and then goes down like that. And there it is. There's your graph and your vertical and horizontal asymptotes. Please make sure you're showing your asymptotes on your graph. All right, case number 2. Starting the same way. Always start off, at least I do, by trying to figure out what makes my denominator 0 so I can get my vertical asymptotes. This time I'm going to factor x plus 2, x minus 2. So my vertical asymptotes are going to be at -2 and +2. I'll go ahead and draw those. One of them is right here, -2. And the other one is at +2. Oops, that's good. I was wrong at 1 there for a second. There you go. My horizontal this time, because that degree is the same as that degree, because they're the same, my horizontal asymptote is going to be the leading coefficient of the top over the leading coefficient of the bottom, which is 3 over 1, which is 3. So the horizontal asymptote is going to be at 3, right there. All right, now, I need to find my points, so I'm going to go to table on my calculator, second table. I'm looking over here first, so I'm looking at 3. 3 it says is 5.4, which is about there. If I look at 4, it says 4 is it. And that's really all I need to see. That means up here is doing this because it has to get closer and closer to the asymptotes. And if I look at -3, it says 5.4 also, which is up here. And if I look at it's not drawing for me. There we go. And if I look at -4, it's at 4, which is there. So it's doing the same thing over here. All I gotta do is figure out what's going on in between the two asymptotes. If I find 0, 0, 0 is a point, -1, -1 is a point, and 1, -1 is a point, which tells me in here it's doing this, because it's got to get closer to the asymptotes there also. And there's your graph. Again, make sure you show your asymptotes. Make sure you understand how I got the horizontal and the vertical. That's the main thing. I mean, the points you can get from your calculator, I'm not too worried about that. I'm worried about how you're getting your vertical and horizontal asymptotes and making sure you know that your graph gets closer and closer to those. One more. All right, this one might turn out to be a weird one because I made it up. I made up the other ones too. But one thing about this one, the top or bottom, neither one factors. So when I'm trying to look at my vertical asymptote, it's always what makes the bottom 0. Well, if you square something, it's positive. And if you add 1 to a positive number, it's still positive. There is no way to make the bottom 0, which means there's no vertical asymptote. All right, so I'm going to go for horizontal now. Horizontal because the top degree is bigger than the bottom degree. There's no horizontal asymptote either. So there's neither a vertical or horizontal asymptote, which means it's probably going to be some kind of slanted graph. Something, who knows? Someone go straight to my calculator, to my table, and see what I find out about it. 0, 0 is a point on there for sure. 1.5, -1, -0.5, -2, -1.6, so about right there. +2. So it looks like it's symmetric, and I think it's gonna be a curve. So it's gonna start to kind of curve up a little bit like that, and curve down a little bit like that. You can punch it, you can grab it and kind of get a good look. That's pretty close. So that was a weird one, but you do got to realize sometimes there's no vertical or horizontal, but you need to know the rules. So make sure you know the rules for horizontal, the rules for vertical. You can have another Google Doc. The problem with Delta Math this week is it just doesn't match up really well with what we're doing. They're asking you to do a little bit more. So sorry about that. We have to do Google Docs. So just turn it back into Google Classroom when you're done. Have a great weekend. And don't worry about math till next week. We'll review the first 2 days next week. Looking for a quiz probably about Wednesday. And we'll probably have a Google Meets on Tuesday, but I'll tell you more about that on Monday. Have a good one.